And now Cecil County in the World 30 at 6 is welcoming Mike Dixon. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Rob.
Scholar, Historical Society, Cecil College, internationally acclaimed fashion plate. Thanks for the tip on the bow tie.
I am pleased to help.
Try to keep up.
Thank you.
Fiscal New Year,
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yes, and I see your bow tie there, celebrating.
We're all in the money now.
We're in a roll again for another 10 months.
So, what are you going to talk to us about tonight, Mike?
Well, how about if I ask you a question, since
Sure.
you're always asking me questions? When I say Conowingo to you, Rob, what do you think of? Where is it?
Well, if you go down Route 1, just before you get to the dam, it's right there at the intersection of 222.
You mean where all those gas stations and
The
convenience
bank
stores
and
banks and stuff?
Royal Farms.
Yeah, but where's the old Conowingo? That's the modern place. The cars zip by and the trucks whirl through on Route 1, you know?
Well, I'm thinking you're going to explain it to us, but I heard it was behind the dam,
Yeah, well,
underwater.
That's pretty good, yeah. Shall we talk about that?
Please.
Okay, so about 2 years ago, you're aware, Maryland Public TV did a really highly acclaimed, I think they were very pleased with it, popular program that got very significant recognition about the Conowingo Dam. And so they spent about 9 months here shooting the show, and part of that was us helping them visit the sites. So if you go about a mile north of the dam, down a place called like Mount Zora Road,
Know it well.
where the boat ramp is. Do you know that area?
Mm-hmm.
Well, as you stand there, Rob, and you look out in the river, and the sun's going down on one of these warm Chesapeake Bay summers, you're looking out at the old village of Conowingo.
How about that?
There was a village of a couple hundred people that lived there.
That was one of my questions. 100 people lived right there. You go down that hill, you go up Mount Zora and then down the hill.
Yeah. It was actually, for rural northwestern Cecil County, it was a bustling little village for a lot of reasons. And for generations, something more like 200 people lived in that tiny little village. They had Dr. Reagan. They had everything you would need. And if they didn't have it in town, it came in by the Sears catalog. The railroad would deliver it. And families came and generations came and centuries went by and nobody bothered them.
And then somebody had an idea to put a dam there.
Yeah. Well, you know what happened? The age of electrification arrived. In cities like Philadelphia and Baltimore, Philly in this case in particular, they're growing. They have industrial plants, lots of electricity, lots of things growing, and they need more power. And somebody said, you know what? That's Susquehanna. Looks like the 400 some miles flowing, rapid descent. Why not?
So they dammed it up, and it took a while. When did they start building the dam?
Well, and Rob, it wasn't the first dam in the Susquehanna because as we went into the 20th century, it was the age of electrification. So there are 3 other dams north of there, and you've probably seen them as you get out and ramble about. But this was going to be the largest for the era, and it was started on March 8th, 1926. And boy, did it transform a valley. Think if you'd had the Doc Reagan's post office or store, or his medical practice, and you lived in that little village, and to go to Bel Air or Elkton, you would have thought or Oxford, you would have thought you were seeing the lights of the city. And then all at once, it wasn't going to be anymore. Because see, the company called Susquehanna Electric has bought up all those homes, and they start building the dam on March 8th, 1926. It was a $52 million project, and it went faster than anybody could have ever expected. And finally, on January 3rd, 1928, electricity flowed to Philadelphia. And those homes...
2 years.
2 years. I mean, it was very, very fast, virtually 2 years, yeah. And you know what? One of the papers out of Baltimore commented, they said as they closed up the Susquehanna and that water just kind of rose slowly, people stood in those hills alongside the Conowingo, those steep hills. And think of the feelings they must have had as that water from the dam just slowly backed up. And by the time darkness arrived on that year so long ago, the homes and everything were gone. Wow. And they had to turn away and walk away and start a new life somewhere else. And then today we visit the modern Conowingo as cars zip along and rush to Baltimore or Philadelphia. And we go over that modern powerful hydroelectric plant. It's been generating electricity since 1928.
And right upstream, maybe half mile or a mile, is Old Conowingo.
Well, the old village.
Now, I've heard you can still see it if you like scuba dive down there.
Really?
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, yeah. People do say that. Yeah, but the Exelon, the owner of the utility, has lots of public access, so you can launch your boats there. I'll go up and whatever. When do people get on these boards and float around in the water?
Right.
You'll see them out there when there's not such flooding debris and stuff like that. But it totally transformed that whole area. I mean, there were like 5,000 men that came to this little isolated area of a couple hundred people to build the dam, new roads, everything. And boy, come 1928, that new year, the modern age that arrived in northwestern Cecil, northeastern Harford County.
Yep, it did transform things. Now, other than the dam, as acting as a bridge, how did people get across?
Yeah, well, see,
how wide was the river before they dammed
it
it
was
up?
about a mile wide. But see, that was one of the other things that made Conowingo so important. Even though today we think of Route 1, there was something like Route 1 always there. So there was a bridge, and travelers from the late age of stagecoaches to the modern age of the first automobiles, they would come from Baltimore to Philly or Philly to Baltimore, and right across at Old Conowingo, they went across a series of bridges that spanned it. Got to Conowingo, you're probably tired, you need a drink, you stop in the tavern, stop in the hotel,
Right.
rest to go on up to Lancaster or Philadelphia or someplace.
If somebody wanted to find pictures or with the historical society in Elkton, they could go up there and check it out.
Oh yeah, there are a couple of things I'd recommend with that. There's hundreds of photos of the village. Shows the old train station, it shows the Methodist church, the store, all those types of things. The bridges were a big feature because you wanted to buy them and send them to others. So we have hundreds that we are delighted to show you. And check out the Maryland Public TV documentary. It streams at Maryland Public TV.
On the Conowingo Dam.
On the Conowingo Dam. It really was an excellent documentary. One of the things they were delighted with is they were able to find silent movies of the demolition of the old bridge you were asking about. Found it on, I think, eBay.
And you were involved in that project.
Yeah, I was their consultant on that project.
Public TV project.
Yeah.
What's your next project? When's your next public lecture or appearance?
Well, I've got a couple coming up at the library in July, the Cecil County Public Library in July. And for instance, sometime in July, we'll have to check the library website. We're going to be talking about vacation in Cecil. You know, we have all these vacation spots that boomed with the automobile age, from White Crystal Beach and Charlestown and down Elk Neck Way. So the library has asked that I talk to them about what was it like beginning to vacation here when you could leave the heat of Lancaster or Philadelphia or Chester or someplace like that, find the nice cooling waters of the Elk, the Sassafras, the Bohemia, all of our great rivers. So I'll be doing that program in July for them.
Awesome. And it's still the vacation capital of the world anyway, right?
It still is, yes.
Well, every day's a holiday when you're here in the studio, Mike. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Rob.